Greetings historians, welcome to Lore of the Dragon. So today I'm going to be talking about actually a picture. Something that isn't concrete in facts, but I think it's interesting nonetheless. So what exactly is this picture? For those who have gotten to their credits of Reignited and have read the Spyro Reignited art book, you might have seen a series of pictures by Devon Cady-Lee depicting Spyro with the artisan dragons. Now these dragons were noted to be, or at least a name that can be associated with them, is Spyro's artisan dads. And each one is trying to help Spyro grow an artistic skill, be that whatever the dragon specializes in. However, there is one in particular that has been rather intriguing to me, and I imagine a few people. And that'll be a picture of Spyro with an elder named Thor. Now, by itself, this doesn't really seem like much, other than Spyro seeming like he was rather disappointed or sad that this tablet had shattered. Whether or not this was related to the fact that his work had just shattered in front of him, or because it was related to the topic I'm going to talk about today, is open to interpretation. But if you look at the broken plate in front of Spyro, and you put its fractured parts together, you would get the image of Cynder. And this is what I want to talk about today. So for those who don't know, Cynder was in The Legend of Spyro and the Skylanders timelines, and, well, has been a pretty popular figure there. However, she's not in the originals or in Reignited, so this one brief appearance is rather odd, and so I think it's worth looking into. So something right off the bat I'm going to say is that this could have just been something they threw into the art piece. But you know what? Let's have some fun with it. Now, outside of it just being something the artist threw in there for fun, there's a question I have to ask that leads into the rest of the video. How exactly does Spyro know who Cynder is? Well, there is something I have to point out that I think can help figure out what exactly is going on here and why Spyro might know who Cynder is. So, in this depiction of Cynder, she has 4 horns rather than 6. Now, this really could just be a depiction of Spyro's lack of artistic skill. Or, on the other hand, it could be an indication that, perhaps, they met when they were younger, since from what I can observe from the Dragon Elders, dragons seem to grow more features as they grow older. This includes horns, frills, even features on their wings. So it's quite possible that Cynder would grow these horns later on in her life, possibly after Spyro had met her. However, for whatever reason and at an unknown time, Cynder just disappeared. And this depiction that we see is Spyro's last memory of what she looked like. Now, in my Discord, I actually asked a couple people what they thought they could pull from this picture, and I have 2 I want to share. So, the first one comes from an artist named Monty, who's actually made the profile picture for my Discord and my Twitter account. The link to her social medias will be in the description below. In summary, she says that perhaps Spyro and Cynder were friends at one point, which could, at least somewhat, allow Spyro to more vividly remember what Cynder looked like, or at least have a higher chance of remembering what she looked like and who she was. Along with that, she also mentions that perhaps Cynder disappeared for the same reason female dragons aren't in the original trilogy or Reignited. Now the second suggestion comes from someone named TokoWH, who says that perhaps Spyro is depressed because he had to leave Cynder behind to go back to the original trilogy, or rather Reignited, which that's pretty meta. But anyway, let's get back into the video. So before I get into a bit more, I do want to point something out that I have noticed. So in the case of this being Cynder, from what I can tell, the scale color of her is black, as if she was already corrupted. But from my knowledge of the original and the Reignited timeline, there's only one thing that actually allows those to be corrupted, or rather brainwashed, and that power would only be held by one character, an individual known as the Sorcerer, the character from Shadow Legacy, and the post-Insomniac era. This would mean that Cynder was corrupted at a very young age, similar to Skylanders and a thing that inspired it, The Legend of Spyro. And so, like in The Legend of Spyro itself, this darkness and its taint would claim the color of her scales, painting them a jet black. Perhaps in some way she is corrupted, and perhaps that plays into a plot of some sort, of a threat we don't yet know of. However, I'm not entirely sure this is the case, as is with a lot of this. Because, well, this is a lot of speculation. Now, another thing I could say about the black scales is that, well, that's simply just the color of her scales. And there wasn't really a corruption arc, as I would put it. But I do want to go back to what Monty said about the female dragons and the reason why they disappeared. Now, I'm not going to cover it right now, but there already is a video covering, or rather speculating, female dragons and why they possibly aren't in the dragon realms. And that was actually done by VTNVV months back. And I highly recommend that video if you want to see some good speculation on the topic. So all in all, I do agree that, well, Cynder would go disappearing along with the female dragons, as well, she is female. However, her disappearance also brought up a question of mine that is unrelated to this topic, sort of, but it raises another question. What exactly happened to Dragon Spyro's age, or Spyro and Cynder's age, in the Dragon Realms? We never see them in the Reignited or original timeline, and we only ever see them in the post-Insomniac era, which doesn't exactly have any explanation to where they were in the original trilogy. So from a lore perspective, it leaves the question open, what happened to the Dragon Spyro's age, and what happened to the female dragons? However, that and the topic of this video, I will leave the rest for you guys to discuss in the comments section. That's actually going to be it for me. Now, if you want to see video updates or when a video might come out, you can actually follow me on Twitter. The link for that will be down in the description below. If you want to join my Discord to maybe get a hint at certain topics, to talk to me or others in the community, you can go hop into the Lore of the Dragon Discord. The link will also be down in the description below. But you can always simply just stick around the channel and watch the videos as they come out. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. I hope to see you all in the next lore video. Stay safe, historians.